Okay, so we start. Good morning, everyone. We have already seen the bus structure. We have two types of bus structure. One is the single bus structure and the other is the multiple bus structure. Now, why we start using multiple bus structure is because of some disadvantages which are there in the single bus structure. The one major disadvantage of the single bus structure is of the time sharing and propagation delay. Now, what does that time sharing and propagation delay means? That since there is a single bus having a single data address and a control bus, and it is being shared among the different devices, so every device will take certain amount of time to access all the three buses. So to avoid this delay among the devices, we have used the concept of multiple bus hierarchy. Now, what was there in multiple bus hierarchy? We have separated the IO part from the memory and the processor part by making use of two buses, which were those, the one to which the CPU and my memory is connected is the system bus, and the other to which my IO devices are connected is the IO local bus. So the communication between the memory and the CPU part with this IO devices is done with the help of the local bus interfacing the IO bus controller with the system bus. So there is no direct communication between any of the devices. So your memory and the processor communicates via system bus, which goes to the IO bus controller. Then it is forwarded to the local bus and then it reaches to the input and the output devices. Same procedure is followed if there is a communication from IO devices to any of this memory or the processor part. We had seen what are the advantages of using this. We get a very high speed of data transfer. Your IO devices will become little slower, therefore they are separated from your system bus and the high-end communication devices which are CPU and memory. We had also seen that we have some kind of dedicated bus where if I want to send a data directly in a very higher speed, so I have a direct communication between those two devices. And how is that connected directly? With an interface called as dedicated bus. Then we had also seen different kinds of networks. What is network? If I want a two system to communicate with each other, how it is possible with the help of network. So how is my system and your system communicating right now with the help of a network? Now those network is being provided with different networking devices. With the different networking devices, we also have certain different networking structures. What are those structures? First was the linear structure. How was the connection? Every device is connected to every other device in a line. So if a first device wants to communicate to the last device, it has to go via all the intermediate devices. It cannot send the data directly. Therefore, this was a disadvantage of your linear network. So we started using mesh network. What was mesh? It is also called as complete network, where every system is connected to every other system inside the network. So which allows us multiple transfer of data by using multiple paths. And how do we calculate this path is by using a formula which I have told you, n into n minus 1 divided by 2, where n is the number of nodes or the number of computers in your network. Then we had also seen what is ring network. What is ring network? It looks like a ring which is circular in a shape, and every systems are connected to each other in a circular manner. So if a data system wants to transmit a data from one device to another device, a token is being prepared. What does that token consist of? It contains a data and it contains a number of a destination device. So it will transmit this token on the network, but it would be accepted only by that device which has a number mentioned in the token, and it will be rejected by all other devices in the network. Then we had also seen what is star network. Each and every components are connected to a central unit which is called as hub. Here in this network, the devices are not connected directly, but they are connected via an intermediate central unit which is called as hub. So if in the network my hub fails, none of the device can communicate with each other until I replace it with a new hub. Then we also saw what is complete network. It is similar to your mesh. So these were the diagrams. Then we have also seen what are the different types of buses, synchronous bus and asynchronous bus, where we had seen that your system operates with the help of a clock. What is that clock? It is operating only in the two modes, either 0 or 1. So it is either low or high. Okay, so that when from low it moves to high, from high it moves to low. At certain time it might remain only high, at certain time it might remain only low. So whenever I'm using this clock to operate any operation or to perform any operation on my system, when I make use of that clock, I call it as a synchronous bus. But when I do not make use of that clock, or if I do not wait for a signal from a clock, I call it as use of a asynchronous bus. And today we'll be seeing what is PCI bus. Now, what does PCI stands for? PCI stands for Peripheral Component Interconnect. Now, how do we have synchronous and asynchronous bus in our system? We also have address, data, and control bus in our system. We also have a local bus in the system. Apart from all this, we also have one more bus called as PCI bus. Now, what does it stands for? Peripheral Component Interconnect. Now, every one of you have seen motherboard in CPM. So when I open a motherboard, it is a board which is green in color, having multiple components into it. The component which is white in color, the PCI slots, which are little bit mounted separately on the motherboard. Those white slots are nothing but the PCI slots. Now, why do I use those PCI slots? Now, if suppose I want to make my system dedicated only for graphics, so how do I increase the graphics of my system? By inserting or by buying a graphics card. When I buy that graphics card from a shop, where do I insert that graphics card in the system? We do not have any external ports like USB, which you find on your laptop or which you find on your computer. Your cards, like has to be inserted inside the motherboard. So where are they inserted? They are inserted into these PCI slots. Okay. Again, if I want to increase the sound of my system, so how do I increase that sound of my system? By including a sound card in my system. Where do I insert that sound card? Again, it is inserted into a PCI slot. Similarly, nowadays for internet connectivity, we make use of router if it is Wi-Fi. But if you have seen in our labs, we have a green cables. What are those green cables? Those are called as Cat6 cables. So that is a one way to bring internet connectivity into your system. But the other way is that you can insert a LAN card. That means you can replace those green cables with a LAN card, specific one card for one system. Again, where are those cards inserted? They are inserted into a PCI slots. Now, what is that PCI slot also called as? It is called as expansion slot. Why it is named as expansion? Because if at all I want to expand any feature of my system in terms of hardware, how do I expand it? By putting those devices into the PCI slot. And then who operates the functioning of that PCI slots with the computer system is the PCI bus. So for example, if I say that if I want to increase that graphics, I have inserted a graphics card. Now, how will my graphics be communicating with my system? It will be communicating with my system with the help of the PCI bus. Okay, so if I want to insert any such kind of expansion onto the system, like modem cards, network cards, sound cards, graphics card, I can do everything with the help of the PCI slots. So what it is written, these expansion boards are normally plugged into the expansion slots on the motherboard. So where are these? They are mounted inside your motherboard. So if you see this diagram, this is a structure of a desktop system having a PCI bus. Okay, so every one of us has opened the desktop in the CPM. We have also seen the motherboard. Now this is what is the expansion slot I am talking about. If you can see the figure. Now what is happening? What all things I can insert into it is, can you see this audio? That is the sound. If I want to increase any kind of sound in my system, how can I do that? By inserting the sound cards inside the audio part of the motherboard. Then if you can see this monitor video. So if I want to increase the graphics of my system, on-screen graphic, how can I do that? By inserting the graphics card on the system. Where are all these connected? If you see, they are connected to the PCI bus. That means they are connected to the expansion slot, but who is communicating these devices with the other devices of the system? It has been communicated with the PCI bus. Okay. Now, can you see this expansion bus bridge? Now, what is a bridge? If I want to go from one place to another place in a faster mode, we always make use of bridges so that we can reach to a particular place, avoiding the traffic which is flowing below. So same concept is used in the system also. Apart from using the other networks, I make use of a bridge so that I can make my data reach faster to the destination system. And how do I do that? By using such kind of bridges which are there inside your expansion slot. Now you cannot see this bridge from your naked eye. Okay, they are inside the motherboard in the form of a small chips. You cannot see them. Okay, but why they are used? They are used for the faster transmission of a data from one source device to the another destination device. Okay, can you see this part in the diagram, which is cache, DRAM, memory controller and processor? What are these? I can make my PCI bus or these external devices to communicate with the memory part as well as with the processor part. How are they communicating? Now they won't be making use of a system bus, but instead of that, they will be making use of a PCI bus. So in short, I can also tell that all the work which your system bus is doing, every work is done by the PCI bus also. So in the diagram, if you see, there is no system bus anywhere. Why? Because all the work of the system bus is now being done by the PCI bus. Is this clear up till here, Mrudul?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Okay, so this is the scenario of your PCI bus inside the system. And where is that PCI bus? It is on the expansion slot. So the slot which you can see on the motherboard is the expansion slot. Whatever you insert onto it, any cards that you insert will be considered or will be having a communication with the help of this PCI bus. Now you also might have heard about AGP slots, accelerated graphic port. CPM में आपको बताया होगा ये भी. ISA slots, EISA slots, then PCIe slots. What are these? Motherboard will be having either of one. If your system is very old, it will be having ISA or EISA, which allows only 16 bits of data transfer. That means at a time I can transmit only 16 bit. Since that was slow, therefore we replaced those ISA slots with PCI slots. Why PCI? Because the PCI data transfer is more. It is either 32 or 64 bits. If it is only PCI, it is 32 bits. If it is PCIe, which is express, it has 64 bits. And if it is AGP, that is accelerated graphics port, that means I can only use that port for graphics. I cannot insert any sound card or network card into it. That port is separate only for graphics purpose. Now, second is, you may ask me that how should we identify whether it is PCI or ISA or EISA? It has always been identified with the color on the motherboard. If you see, your motherboard will have only 3 colors for expansion slot. It is either brown or white or it is black. If it is black, it is ISA or EISA. If it is white, it is always PCI or PCIe. And if it is brown, it is AGP. Okay, so you identify all these ports with this 3 color codes, that is brown, black and white. But all the motherboards which we have in our labs will be having white. Why? Because it is either PCI or PCIe. Okay. And how do you identify whether it is PCI or PCIe? Because both are having white color again. You have to go to the system configuration, that is a CMOS setup. And then you can check what is the speed of your PCI, whether it is 32-bit or whether it is 64-bit. Then similarly, if it is a server system, now we have seen the diagram for the desktop system. Now we'll be seeing the diagram for the server system. Now what is the difference between a desktop system and a server system? Now your desktop has a limited RAM and a limited processor and a limited hard disk. Whereas your server system will have the size of RAM, size of the processor and the size of the hard disk, which will be more. Why it is called as server? Because we cannot install everything into a client machine. Why we cannot install? Because of the restriction of these sizes, that is the size of RAM, size of hard disk, and the size of your processor. But we do not have these kind of restrictions if it is a server system, because in the server system the size of the hard disk is always more than 1 TB, size of RAM is always more than 16 GB, and your processor speed will be more than 3.5 gigahertz. So the server systems are little huge, and you can install every kind of a software that is the more support, more speed or a more size of a software because of the server system. So what happens is, if I want my client machine, which is my desktop machine, if that my machine wants something from a client machine, what will happen is I will first develop a network between a client and a server machine. Once the network is being developed, network means I will have an internet connectivity. Once that internet connectivity is done, what will I do is I will simply ask the server to provide me with some kind of data. So what will server check first? Do I have that much space in my machine to take that data? If it does not have that much space, what will server tell me? That you give me your program, I will execute at my end, and I'll just give you the output. So you save your output, because saving the output will have little less space as compared to saving the entire software. So what do we call this scenario? As a client server communication, where client machine do not have space to install the application and execute the programs. Therefore, client is sending the program to the server machine through the internet connectivity. Once the program is reached at the server machine has that software. It will simply execute and transmit the output to the user machine. What will user do is it will save that output on the system. Why? Because saving the output is much more, will be taking much more less space as compared to that of saving the entire software. Okay. So now if it is a server system, what happens in the server system? Also we have a PCI bus. Why will we have this PCI bus? Because if it is server system, we'll have a motherboard, and if it has a motherboard, it will have some kind of expansion slot. Now why PCI is used? Because I just said the speed of PCI is highest among all of other expansion slot. How much it is? 64-bit. That means at one time I can transmit 64-bit of data. So even if it is server, it is going to transmit 64-bit of data. But if you observe the bus used over here, we have system bus which is separate, and we have a PCI bus which is separate. Now what is connected to this PCI bus will be our external devices: LAN card, sound card, network card, modem card. All of these external cards will be connected to the PCI bus. But if in the previous diagram what was happening, I was also connecting the memory and the processor part to the same PCI. But what am I doing if it is a server system? I am separating with the system bus. Why I am doing this? Because in the desktop, I have PCI also with me. I have memory also with me. Whereas in server, my memory and processor is on some another computer, whereas the PCI is on my computer. So if you understand this scenario of client and server, this part is the client part, and your memory part is nothing but the server part, where you are transmitting your data from your machine via this PCI bus and via this system bus to some another machine. Then that particular machine, that is this machine, is executing your programs, again sending you the output through this system bus back to your machine. So that is the difference in the server system and in the desktop system. In the desktop system, everything is happening in front of me. I am only executing. I only have that software. Whereas in the server, I just have a program. I am sending it to the server via this bus, system bus, and then I am accepting the output also via the system bus. Is this clear? Faizan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now how is the bus structure of your PCI? See, what did I tell you? It is either 32 bits or 64 bits. So what is the size of a bus? The size of a bus is of either 32 or 64 bits. Now it has 49 lines. 49 lines means out of this 32 or 6, if I use 64, I have some 49 lines which are reserved. Why are they reserved? They are reserved for some kind of groups. What are those groups? System pins, address and data pin, interface and control pin, and error reporting pins. Now, what are these pins? First is a system pin. System pin means what? It is clock and reset. Clock means what? It will operate on the tick of a clock. So if a clock is being generated, PCI bus will start operating. Again, when the clock is deactivated, PCI bus will stop executing. That is what is called as clock. So based on clock on and clock off, your PCI is going to operate. Reset pins. Now, what do you mean by reset? We have a restart button in our system. What is that restart? If suppose the system hangs or if it is not working properly, what do we do is one common step is either we press Alt Control Delete and stop the execution of all the programs, or the second thing is we simply press the restart button. So if we press that restart button, what is happening? All the programs are reloaded. Similarly, in the bus structure, if I want some bus to restart, I do not have any restart button. I have a reset pin, which is just a normal pin like on your keyboard. If I simply press that, the bus will reset. The bus will reset means it will start operating again from the scratch. So if a system hangs or if your bus is not working properly, what I can always do is press on this reset pin. And once that reset pin is pressed, your bus will be reactivated and it will start working again right from the scratch. Where do you find this reset and the clock pin? They are again there on your motherboard. Okay. Next is address and data pins. That means your every bus, which is the PCI bus, which we are learning now, has some kind of address and the data bus. Okay. So if we see this desktop system, in this PCI bus only we are having address and data. Why we are having inside this only? Because I am not using any separate system bus. Okay. So what is the function of that address and data pin? Address pin will carry only address starting from the location 0000H. And what will the data pin take? Only the data. So you know the difference of data pin and the address pin now. Now if you see here, it is written something multiplexed. Multiplexed means what? Whenever your data and address pins are multiplexed, which means what? Your data bus can act as address bus also, as well as it can act as data bus also. That means whenever you have word multiplex, address can act as data also as well as address. Data can act as address also as well as data. That means both of them can perform the function of each other if at all I multiplex them. Is this clear? Then next is interface control pins. What are interface control pins? They are used to provide timing coordination. Now what is timing coordination? Now it might happen that a user is transmitting the program for execution at every 5 minutes. So who is going to keep a count that the user action is coming at every 5 minutes? It will be done by this interface control pins. That means who is going to observe the behavior of a user in the system with respect to PCI bus, it will be observed by the interface control pins. Based on that behavior, it is going to activate either the system pins, address pins, or the error reporting pins. Okay, next we have is error reporting pins. Now what is error? If at all any kind of error is generated by the bus, who will be reporting that error? It will be reported by this error reporting pins, which means what? Your pin is going to have only two options, either on or off. Off means what? It is generating some kind of error, therefore it has shifted from a on position to a off position. And when it will shift back from off to on, again when you reset that. Okay. Now can you see something here? It is written as parity. Now how the system tells about the error? The system tells the error to the user with the help of the parity pins. Now what are those parity? We have two types, even and odd. How do we count? If the number of ones in the data is even, we call it as even parity. If number of ones in the data is odd, we call it as odd parity. So for example, if my data is 0, 0, 0, 0, do I have any ones? No. So by default, if it is 0, 0, 0, 0, it is considered to be as even parity. But now if I change the data to 0, 0, 0, 1, how many ones are there? Only one. So is 1 an even or an odd number? Odd number. So we call entire data as what kind of parity? An odd parity. Clear? Again, if I give you one more example, if I have a data 0, 0, 1, 1, how many number of ones do I have? 2. That means it is considered to be as even parity. Why? Because the number 2 is even. So you simply count the number of ones. If the number of ones are even number, we call it as even parity. But if the number of ones are odd number, we call it as odd parity. Again, how do we represent this even and odd? With 0 and 1. Why with 0 and 1? Because computer understands a binary language which is in the form of zeros and ones. Okay, so by using that 0 and 1, I will identify whether it is an even parity or a odd parity, and based on that I will check whether there is any kind of a error inside the bus or not. So all these 4 pins or group of pins belong to which particular bus structure? It belongs to a PCI bus structure. So in this diagram, whenever this PCI bus is operating, your system pin will also operate, address pin will also operate, data pin will also operate, your error pin will also operate, and your interface control pin will also operate. If it is set to 0, that means it is reset. If it is set to 1, that means it is starting again. So every bits are either represented in the form of 0 or they are represented in the form of 1. Then we have interrupt pins. Now, what do you mean by interrupt? Interrupt means, now if I am teaching you in the lecture and if suppose I get a phone call, which means what? That phone call is nothing but an interrupt from the current work which I am doing. What was the current work that I was doing? I was delivering a lecture to you and showing you PPT. But if at the same time I receive that call, which means what? I have generated an interrupt and I have picked that phone and I have stopped my current work. So such kind of interrupts are generated in your system also. How are they generated? They are generated with the help of interrupt pins. Now what happens is your programs are executed in a multiple fashion. Multiple fashion means we call that system as a multi-processor system. You will understand this more in detail in the next semester. But just for explaining this interrupt pins, I will explain that concept in short. What did I say? Your system works in a form of multi-processor system. Now, what is multi-processor? Multi-processor means what? From the name, you might assume that there are more than one processor. But every system has only one processor inside it. But what is happening? It is dividing its time into different slots. And then it is accepting more than one user programs. So to the user, what is it? It is assumed that multiple programs are executed. But system is executing only one program at a time. Now, how is this happening? If I have 2 programs named as P1 and P2, both are going to be executed by me only. Okay. So first I will execute P1. P1 will be loaded into the memory. From memory, it will go to the processor. Processor will activate ALU. ALU will start doing the brain work. Now, what will happen when this P1 is executing? What is a program in P1? Int A is equal to 2, int B is equal to 3, A plus B is equal to result. Okay, and then stop. So when ALU comes to the first point or a first instruction of a program, which is int A is equal to 2, what will ALU do? ALU will leave the processor. It will go to the memory. It will take that data A equal to 2 from the memory. So right now, is my processor doing any work? No. Processor has left its job and it has gone to the memory to take that data A is equal to 2. So if at all, when the data is being searched into the memory, I have told you it searches in the 3 places. First in the cache, then in the RAM, and then in the hard disk. So it will take some time to search the data in all the 3 places. So what is happening? The CPU, that is a processor part, will not remain idle. That means it will not sit till that A is equal to 2 comes back. At that time, it will immediately start executing the next program, which is my next program P2. It will take the first line of P2. Again, if the first line of P2 is x is equal to 3, what will the processor do? It will stop at execution, go to the memory to take A is equal to 3. By that time, what will happen? The previous program, which is P1, A is equal to 2 is already loaded inside the processor now. So what will processor do? It will again switch from P2 to P1. So this is how the processor will always keep on switching from one program to another program. And when it will switch, whenever there is a time to go inside the memory to take the data. If there is no brain work, CPU will not sit idle. It will go to the memory, it will take the data. At the time when it is idle, it is automatically starting the next program P2. So what it is assumed by me as a user that yes, P1 भी execute हो रहा है, P2 भी execute हो रहा है. But what is system doing? Since P1 was idle, that means since P1 had to go to the memory and take that data A is equal to 2, I stopped the execution of P1 and I started the execution of P2. But जब भी P1 का A is equal to 2 वापस आ गया, so what did the processor do? It immediately left x is equal to 3 of P2 and came back to the program P1. So like this, if you even give 10 programs to the computer system, the system will operate 10 programs simultaneously. But how will it happen? Whenever one is going to take the memory, processor is switching to the second program. Again, if second is going to the memory, it will switch to the third program. Now, in between this, we also have one more concept called as priority. Now, if P1 and P2 both are given at the same time, but if being a user, I have told that the priority of P2 is higher than the priority of P1, what will system do? It will not execute P1, it will first execute P2. Why? Because a user has told through a command that P2 should be executed with the highest priority. So system will be executing P2 first. But again, in this P2 execution, if it has to go to the memory, what is your processor going to do? It will not remain idle. It will start the execution of P1. Now, when P2 comes back, how will the CPU understand that the P2 has came back? It will understand with the help of this interrupt pins. So whenever a program comes back from the memory, it is intimated to the processor by generating these interrupt pins. And whenever those interrupt pins are activated, the processor will understand that the previous program has come back for the execution. So it will leave the current job and it will start the previous started execution work. Is this clear, Sakshi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what are these interrupt pins? Whenever a processor is operating more than one program, and if the programs come back from the memory to the processor for the execution work, they intimate to the CPU by generating this interrupt pins. So when they come back, they change their mode from 0 to 1, and when they go to memory, they change it from 1 to 0. Okay, so you have only two values for interrupt, 0 and 1. Okay, next is the cache support pins. What is cache support pin? Now every one of us knows what is a cache memory. A memory which is found inside the processor itself. Fastest memory with a very less size for storage. How much is a storage? Into KBs. So if I have a data, or if I want to store the data inside the cache of a processor, how do I store it? By generating these cache pins, either in form of zeros and one. So if a cache has a space inside it, it will store the data there itself. Now, if it has store, what it will change it to? It will change the value from 0 to 1. So what will system understand? If it sees that 1, that means the data is there inside the cache only. But if it has not stored any data, what will be the value? The value will be 0. So when the system will search, and if it encounters with a value 0, what will system understand? That it is not there in the to be in the RAM. So by observing the unit, or by observing the data 0 and 1, I can identify whether the data is there inside the cache or not. So if I found that bit to be set to 0, that means there is no data. I do not have to search. So I will not send my system bus to search and waste the time. I will directly send the system to the primary memory. But if at all the bit of this cache support pin is set to 1, which means what? The data is there in the cache only. So if that system bus founds the data bit to be set as 1, it will go and search for the data, and it will retrieve the data in the fast speed. So once if the data is retrieved, it will never go and check inside the RAM and hard disk. Okay, that is the function of the cache support pins. So by observing 0 and 1, I will ask the system bus to go and search the data. Now we have certain kinds of PCI commands. Which are those PCI commands? The first is CLK. What is the CLK? It is nothing but called as clock. So if I want my bus to operate based on the clock mode, that is low, high, and so on, I will execute this command clock. Now I had also told you that there are 6 commands of a control bus. Which are those? If any one of you can tell me. Hamza, are you there? Hamza, if you're not there, I am supposed.
Hello, ma'am.
What are the 6 commands of the control signals? Please tell me. Or any
I
two.
don't remember, ma'am.
Why don't you remember? You have a test today followed by this. Okay, Jay. Jay, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Please tell me what are the 6 commands of control signals.
I don't remember, ma'am.
I will help you. Please recollect. Memory read. Memory write. Do you remember?
No, ma'am.
Very good. What you will give in the test then? Nidhi. As soon as I said Nidhi, she left the meeting. Very good. She'll be marked as absent now. Pooja Patil.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please tell me. I have already told you to memory read, memory write.
IO read, IO write,
Yes, correct.
bus request, bus grant.
Grant, yes, very good. So these were the commands of your control signal. What was bus request and bus grant doing? If I want to use the bus, I have to first request. And once if the bus is given to me for the operation, it will be told to the system with the help of the grant. So what is this REQ? It is nothing but request. So before you use anything, you have to request for that device, that is the bus. And once you have got that bus, it will be generated or it will be intimated to the system with the help of this grant. So REQ is for request and GNT is for grant. That is bus request and bus grant. Now what is this PERR? It is nothing but the parity error. So P stands for parity and ERR stands for error. It is similar to this parity pins, error reporting pins. So if it is odd parity, that means number of ones are odd into it. If it is even parity, the number of ones are even into it. How is this represented? Represented as 0 and 1. Okay. But which command is used to do this? The command uses PERR. Then next we have is SERR. What is that S? It stands for system. And what does ERR stands for? Error. So if there is any system error, I will use, or the system uses the command called as SERR to intimate a system error. Then last is
Ma'am, can you repeat PERR because my network was fluctuating a bit, so I couldn't hear you.
Okay, I'll repeat. PERR. What does P stands for? Parity, and ERR stands for error. So if at all there is any parity error in the system, how is that parity error being generated? It is generated by using the command PERR. Now we have 2 kinds of parity. We have just seen that even and odd. How do you identify even and odd? If number of ones are even, it is even parity. And if number of ones are odd, it is odd parity. Right? Tahir, clear now?
Yes, ma'am, understood.
Okay. Then last is INTA. What is INTA? Interrupt, acknowledge. INT stands for interrupt and A stands for acknowledge. Now what is that interrupt? If anything external comes back to the CPU for execution, how is that CPU going to understand that the execution has come back? It will be understood with the help of this interrupt command. So whenever there is INTA either 0 or INTA either 1, it is understood that the memory has come back to the processor for the purpose of execution. So we use these commands to reflect the use of these pins. So how are these pins going to work? These pins work based on these commands: clock, bus request, bus grant, parity error, system error, and interrupt acknowledge. Clear? Pratham, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this was all about your PCI bus. Now next we'll have is SCSI bus. Now what is SCSI? It stands for Small Computer System Interface. Now Pratham, please mute. Small Computer System Interface. Now what does this Small Computer System Interface means? If it is a motherboard, I use a PCI bus where I am inserting my external devices like LAN card, modem card, sound card, and network card. That means number of devices connected are limited. I cannot insert all the 4 cards at the same time in PCI slot. You have only 3 slots. So at a time I can use any of the 3 devices, either sound, network modem, or graphics, network modem, and so on. But if I want to connect multiple devices, that means many number of devices to my system, I have to make use of this SCSI bus. So how many devices can you connect? If you see the number here, you can connect 16 devices. 16 devices can be anything, okay? It can be external keyboard, external mouse, external speaker, external pen drive, external hard disk, external CD drive, external DVD drive, external cards, external sound system. All these devices can be connected at the same time. How many? 16 devices. But how do you connect that with the help of this SCSI bus? Okay, so you have a small motherboard which you have to purchase, which will have 16 components or 16 connectors onto it. You have to first connect that motherboard to the USB slot, and then you can connect those 16 devices to the system. So that external chip or external board which I get, what do I call it as? I call it as a SCSI bus. So it is a bus which is used to connect more number of devices. How many? Up to 16 devices to your system. What can those devices be? As I just listed: CD, DVD, CD-ROM, keyboard, mouse, external monitor, external hard disk, external PDs, external sound system. Everything can be connected. But how much? Only 16. Where they are connected? On the board first, and then the board is connected to the system. What does this SCSI bus has? It has 18 different signals. That means once if I have made this setup, मैंने वो external board को laptop को लगा दिया, वो laptop अभी ये 16 device को use कर सकता है. But how are they? That means how is that motherboard and my system communicate? They will communicate with the help of these signals. Because if you remember, any 2 device, if they want to communicate, they should have a bus. If there is no bus, there is no communication. Or if there is no network, there is no communication. What signals do we have? We have data signal, we have parity signal, and we have control signal. How many data? 8-bit data. How many parity? Only 1. That is either even or odd. How many control? 9 controls. That means out of these 18 wires, I have 8 reserved to transmit data. I have 1 reserved for checking if there is any error or not. And who is controlling this data and parity is this 9 control pins. So 9 plus 1, 10, 10 plus 8, 18. Okay. Now when I say 8 data bits, means I have 8 wires which will transmit 1 bit of data at a time. Okay. I have 9th wire which will tell me even or odd parity, and 9 more wires which will control the previous 9 wires. Are you getting this, Tahir?
Yes, ma'am.
How many wires I have? 18 wires total, out of which first 8 wires will transmit the data 0101 from my laptop or from my computer to those 16 devices, and from those 16 devices to my computer. Then I have the 9th wire which will tell me if in case there is any error happening between the communication. And who will be controlling these 9 lines? that is the data and the parity, few more 9 lines which are called as control. Okay, so the work of those control signal is to control the data bits and the parity bits. So all these 16 devices which I am connecting externally through this SCSI bus, how are they connected and how is the communication happening between them with the help of these SCSI signals? That is data signal, parity signal and the control signal. Is this clear? Everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. So with this, we have completed with the first lesson of your CO. So we have seen the structure of your computer. We have seen the 3 most important parts of the computer, that is IO devices, memory and CPU. We have also seen internal components of CPU. I hope you remember them. PC, accumulator, IR, MAR, MDR, registers, cache, etc. In memory, we have primary, secondary, and cache. And in IO devices, we can have n number of IO devices, that is n number of input and n number of output. Followed by that, we saw the bus structure, that is single bus structure and multiple bus structure. We had seen the advantages and disadvantages of both, that is disadvantage of your single bus, which are used as advantages of your multiple bus. Followed by that, we saw 2 important buses, that is PCI bus and SCSI bus, right? Do you have any doubts in any of these parts? Any one of you?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Girls, are you there? Or you have simply kept it on and went somewhere? Sanika, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Soham?
Ma'am,
Yes, Mridul?
ma'am, can you tell us the approximate weightage of this chapter or all the chapters in particular?
I have told you the weightage. Na? Syllabus is shared on the classroom.
Okay, but like any specific topic wise.
Topic wise, it is, I guess, first chapter is of 10 marks. Let me just check in the classroom. Just give me a moment.
Yeah.
By the time, if you also have a syllabus in the classroom, you can also check from there.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else apart from this, keep asking by the time I search here. And if not, then I'll start with the quiz. No doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So if at all in future also you have, you post it on the classroom, then I'll see it from the classroom and tell you. Okay, Mrudul, so first chapter is of 10 marks. Fine?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm giving you the quiz on your Google Classroom. The link, I will be sharing it on the classroom. Everybody, please switch on your videos.
Ma'am, I am at PC, so I don't have webcam.
Okay, who else is there from the PC?
Ma'am, I am
Ma'am, I'm
operating from the PC.
Those who are operating from
Ma'am,
the
I am opening the PC.
listen to me. Those who are operating from, I said listen to me. Those who are operating from PC, please put it in the chat box simply by writing PC so that I understand. Others, please put your cameras on. I'm also sharing the link on the chat box. So if you don't want to go to the classroom, you can come to use that chat box also for the link.
मैम रिकॉर्डिंग चालू है.
हाँ चालू रहने दो ना, कुछ नहीं होगा. It is a part of your class only, no? So it is okay. Let the recording be on. Okay, so the link is being posted in the classroom. Please check. Yeah, I can see only Shlok, Sonia, Disha, Anika there. Okay. Okay, I have also given the link in the chat box. Please start your test. Aksh, I can see Aksh. Then I can see Mrudul.
Ma'am, can we start the test?
Yes, please start.
Okay.
Read the questions carefully. And marks will be counted, so give it seriously. Even if you find it in the Google, you will not get these answers there. If you have attended the lectures and if you have revised, you will get the answers. Otherwise, you have to search a lot. Before that, the class will get ended. Aksh, completed?
Ma'am, I cannot see the image for the input question.
It will be there. Scroll it down. There, did you find Mrudul?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tahir, why can't I see your video? Okay, you're from pre-C. Sushant, keep your video on. Can't you hear me? Those who don't keep your video on, I'll assume that they have done some cheating and given the test. So by default, I'll give the marks straight away 0. So you decide whether you want to put it on or off now.
मैम ये इमेज का आंसर कहाँ पे लेने का, उधर कुछ ऑप्शन नहीं किया।
टेक्स्ट बॉक्स है, देखो ऊपर अच्छे से देखो।
ओके मैम।
हाँ
Ma'am,
हाँ बोलो
ma'am,
नहीं।
in the question it is which registers can interact with the secondary storage, but it is a we can choose only one answer.
हाँ, so that means you have only one answer for that.
Ma'am, but there is written register, so I thought we have to mark two answers.
No. Kush, you come from mobile. Why is your video off?
Ma'am, I'm not from my phone. I'm doing it from PC.
Okay. Sanika, video on.
Ma'am, if we have completed, can we turn the video off?
हाँ, if you have, let me check first. Wait.
मैम वो इमेज का आंसर कहाँ पे लिखना है मैम? इधर टेक्स्ट बॉक्स इधर भी नहीं मिल रहा।
टेक्स्ट बॉक्स है, देखो. I have got only one response, which is from. Wait, let me just check the name. And yes, Nishit, you can turn the video off. Nishit, you can leave the meeting also, because anyways, I'm going to end the meeting after this. So those who have given the test, once if I call out their name, you can leave the meeting.
Okay, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm not getting the answer for the picture image. So where should I write? It's not being shown anywhere.
Just a minute. It is there. How could then Nishit write? And it is there. No dash input device is displayed as image above. That is a question.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Kush, did you find?
Yes, ma'am, I found it.
Okay, good. So much time. This was the first time that there's been without timer. From next time you'll be having timer. Huh? So if you take so much time, will you keep
Ma'am, done.
done? Okay, so I have received Nishit, Dishank, Patil, PG. Who is that?
Ma'am, I Pooja Patil.
Okay. Kenneth, Om Bhukti, Mayuri, Panchal, NR. Who is that? Disha. You all can leave. Mrudul can leave. Sanika can leave.
Ma'am, sixth question I have written
Yes.
correct, but it is showing wrong.
Sixth question. Which is the sixth question? The image one? Om.
During the execution of the program, dash gets initialized first.
Sixth number. Wait, I'll check. Which register? Okay. During the execution. Okay. It is showing you wrong because your P and C capital issue is there. Wait, I'll do it. I will do it from here. Do one thing, just write it in the mail and send it to me so that I remember. Om.
Okay, ma'am.
Then I'll change your marks.
Ma'am, done.
Yeah, wait.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, for the image question, I have given the right answer, but it's showing wrong.
If something is if the answer shown to you is wrong, please write a mail to me. I will do it after the meeting ends. Hiteshi, Prayag, Gargi, Drashti, Sonia, Viraj can leave. Pritesh, Sarad, Umang, Parth Savala can leave. Muzammil can leave.
Yes, ma'am, done.
Shreya and Reva can leave. Parth Patel can leave. Tahir, Prithvi.
Ma'am, I wrote trackball mouse instead of only trackball, so it is showing wrong.
Okay.
Ma'am, done. We can
Any
leave.
problems, mail me. I'll do it after this is end.
Okay.
Jonathan.
I'm done.
Test.
Jonathan J.
Mrs.
Ah.
I'm done with it.
Okay.
Can I leave, miss?
Yes. Jonathan J. Leave. Then Yash.
Ma'am, my program counter answers getting wrong. Sorry, the question number 6.
That would be because if you have written P capital, C small, something like that, then it would
Yeah.
so
That's
mail.
the thing.
Mail.
Yeah, ma'am.
Moez, Devang, Krisha, leave. Varshil, Aksh, leave.
Ma'am, I can leave, right?
1 minute, let me check. If I have not called your name, you cannot leave. Drashti, Drashti leave. Gayatri leave.
So I submitted test.
Wait. Rudra, Asna leave.
Ma'am, done, but one answer it was right, but it is given wrong. So
So many times should I tell? If you have such kind of doubts where your answer is correct, but because of that uppercase and lowercase, if you're getting it wrong, please write it down to me in mail. I will get it done.
okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Totally wrong. If in case of any spelling mistakes, then it will be marked as wrong. Huh? If there is spelling mistake, don't expect
No,
it
ma
as a
no
mark.
spelling mistake, only upper and lower case. Yeah.
In that case, you will get.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Samarth Kush Krishnam, leave.
Ma'am, I guess you called out my name, but you called out it as Aksh.
So I read it as Aksh only.
Miss, but it is Akash.
1 minute, wait. There's Aksh.ns. Is that you?
Yeah, ma'am. Akash Nair.
Wait.
Akash.sn, ma'am. That is my own.
Just a minute. Sorry, Akash.
Yes,
Akash
ma'am.
and then Aksh.
Yes, ma'am.
Leave.
Can I also leave?
Ma'am, done.
Wait.
Done.
Prem, Malab, Dhruv Triwari, Vignesh, K. Suthar, Keval, Sakshi, Dhruv, Faizan, Shusha. Nahi.
Ma'am, done.
Wait till I call your names. If you say done, how will I understand? Shushant, Vignesh, Devang, Shlok, Om.I, Om Inzatkar, Solanki, Yash, Arjun Shetty. Leave. Kavya, leave. Hurry up, you have next lecture also.
Ma'am, done. Pratham Panchal.
Wait. Pratham, Hamza, Pruthu, Shakira. Hamza, you have not joined the classroom?
Ma'am, I'm here.
Done.
Hamza, please join the classroom.
I'm here only, ma'am.
Where here? You are in the meeting, you are not in the classroom.
Classroom.
क्लासरूम ज्वाइन किया है क्या कोड? नहीं किया है, करो उसको.
Ma'am, Prem Patel done.
Prem Patel done. Go.
Ma'am, can I leave?
Because of that auto correction, ma'am. Ma'am, because of that auto correction, that ball ka spelling got changed.
Spelling mistake then 0. Don't come if it is spelling mistake.
That auto correction, ma'am.
That is, you have on it auto correction. I didn't come to your mobile and switched on that auto correction. है ना? तो अभी बंद रखो next test के लिए. Shakira, Harsh, Nishant, Naman, leave. Who else is remaining now? Sahil, Naman Shah, Nirmal Rathod.
Ma'am, done.
Naman, you have not told whether you are from PC. And if you're not from PC,
Ma'am,
why?
I've told.
I can't find your name here in the chat box.
Ma'am, before Tahir and after Soham.
Okay, wait. Okay. Soham, done?
Ma'am, can I leave?
Leave. Sahil, Nirmal Rathod, Sushant. Hamza, you can leave.
I'm Google Classroom code.
Very good. That also I will tell you. Wait now, I'll put it in the chat box.
Ma'am, that program counter one answer is showing wrong.
So if it is spelling mistake, you should not ask this question.
No, ma'am, it's spelling is right.
I have told 10 times up till now that you are supposed to mail me.
And ma'am, that trackball one, and that I have also added mouse, so also that will.
Give. You will be given the marks. So please mail it to me.
Okay, ma'am.
हमजा मैंने चैट बॉक्स में डाला है कोड ज्वाइन करो.
I've joined it, ma'am.
Okay.
Can I leave?
Yes, Hamza, leave. Nirmal, leave. Sahil, leave. Soham, leave. Sushant, what is the problem? Put your mic on.